my nose. And good evening, everybody, and welcome to Going Nuclear, full-blown coverage of the land, a part of the Fanatical Elves Network, a subsidiary of Fans First Sports Network. I am Ethan Greenberg, and joining me once again is Madison Delaney, who is filling in for Mike, who is on assignment right now. Madison, thank you for being with us. How are you this evening?
We're doing good. It's a Monday. We've made it through the workday. Ready to talk about some Going Nuclear stuff?
Yeah, tonight. If you guys follow this all on social media, thank you, Mike, for being with us. Appreciate it. I've had a lot of time to think, and I got a lot of things. This is like, that's it. I've had it. We are going to do a very special all Going Nuclear event tonight because the world of sports, I'm losing it. I'm losing it, and I got a lot to talk about here. There are a lot of things that have me going nuclear, and they're not just sports-related things. They're life-related things, but they need to be said. But, with that being said, Madison, why don't you start out and tell us about something that has you going nuclear?
Absolutely. Of course, it's got to tie into some sports a little bit. So,
yes.
I planned my over 30 women's soccer league here. We're old, but we're still getting it done. And we had our championship game yesterday. And so my team historically has always needed subs. And we, in like a couple seasons ago, borrowed players from a different league.
Okay.
And then we were told we could play in playoffs, but we were not allowed to advance, which is fair. That's fine. Not our team. Cool. They changed the rules this year, decide that we were going to do no subs and no guest players. And then they decided it's, bleeding into summer, people have vacations, they got stuff going on. Let's go ahead and let them, have subs. So cool, whatever. But you can't have more than 13 on your roster. Getting to the game yesterday, this team that we play has 2 guest players from a very good team in a different league, one of the best teams in the different league. So they signed up the day before the championship game, and they technically weren't allowed to have any guest players because they had 13 of their own players, and you can't have subs if you're going to have more than 13. But whatever, cool. If you feel the need that badly and that strongly to win this adult over 30 women's soccer league, and this is your whole world, then I will go score an own goal for you if it means that much to you. We're just if it's that serious to you, I will hand it to you. I don't care that much, right? I'm generally a very chill person. I'm over here asking for an out of bounds call, right? And then I get yelled at that I'm taking it too seriously. And I'm about the chillest person.
You are.
And in the league. I talked to everybody literally the week before. One of my teammates kind of yelled at me because I'm the league chatterbox, because I'm just having conversations. I play basketball. Soccer is not my sport. I talk the most in sports I didn't play. But yeah, so then, it's just okay, you're going to say I'm taking things too seriously when we're taking it so serious that we got to skirt the rules so that you guys can try to put a team together that is capable of beating my team, which whatever. I don't even care about losing. I also just want them to own it. If you're going to do it, that's fine. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying, whatever, all that stuff. But just be honest about it and don't try to act well, we didn't do anything wrong. It's just it doesn't mean anything, but it does mean something apparently to you if you're going to go do stuff like that. So it's just a good attitude that I got from them. And then I got a stern talking to. I did foul a player, to be fair. It was a foul, but I got yelled at because I did not immediately check on her to see if she was okay. Mind you, this team literally fouled a player and then stood over her who was injured, and was yelling that it wasn't a foul. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm just saying, whatever. But yeah, it was just like a crazy, like, so unnecessary. Like, I'm pretty much friends with like everybody in that league because we all play. I mean, we've all played together in the same league forever. And I just like the fact that they are coming at me. I'm like, you do realize that the only team that anyone has problems with is your team. So yeah, it was a long Sunday. Bled a little bit into my Monday, just because of annoying things. But yeah, it was a good time. People taking adult league sports so seriously has me going nuclear.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's absolutely atrocious and ridiculous. What is wrong with people? You got these weekend warriors out there, and they're super pumped up and jacked up, and they think they're winning this tournament or adult league is going to make their life. What did you tell me that? What did the one person say? It was like the moment they've been waiting for. Or what?
Oh yeah, it was like, yeah. One of their players said that they've been like, it's like a childhood dream or something. Like
a childhood dream. Here, take it down to the store and get your participation trophy. Get the heck out of here. Is this your life? This is your life?
It's so easy to like tell who's like actually played sports and like won something in their life. Cause like they have a player that like, I think she played at Purdue and she is the chillest one out there. Like she's not getting all up in your space. Like this team could be beating like the worst team in the league. Cause I subbed around, played for a lot of different teams during the regular season. 7-0 and they're like, that wasn't offsides. How dare you call that offsides? And I'm like, it's like a 7-0 game. They're not coming back. What are you like? You need the 8th goal that badly? Like, come on. It's just so dumb.
Yes, Mike, that is correct. Sorry, Mike, you did hit one of the nail on the head. You might have caught a stray in my nuclear ramblings and such. Madison, and Madison, I'm sure would join in if we were going on that, but we're not going to. We're not going to go quite down that path. All right. In the world of Cleveland and the orbit of Cleveland sports, the biggest news that we've had over the past 24 hours, actually, the biggest news is Nick Chubb. Second biggest news might be the Darius Garland update that we got this afternoon. But watching the responses since last night about the Nick Chubb possibly signing in with the Texans, and now I guess it's official, and the salary and the this and the that, the stupidity of the responses I'm seeing have me going nuclear. Listen, we don't know what was offered to him. We don't know what the conversation was. So first of all, let's not act like the Browns didn't try. And as I said, get the hell out of here. We don't want you, right?
Yeah.
The dude is coming off major injuries. He had his knee wrecked by that dirty booger, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Then he breaks his foot. He didn't look the same. If they went to him and said, you know what? We're not going to make this huge offer. We know you're coming off injury. We love you. But we're going to draft a running back. We're going to do this or that or the other. And he was like, I'm not down for that. And wouldn't agree to a deal. And then, according to them, he turned down more lucrative offers in other teams and ended up with the Texans. So I think, and you tell me if I'm on the right track here, wouldn't it be, or doesn't it sound like people are really pissed because they don't like what has happened, what the results have been for the Browns since 1999. Nick Chubb has been one of the few players they could count on and love since 1999, and so they're holding that all against these people and throwing it out at them like every single move they ever make is a mistake. Now anything they do is shaded. Guys, how many times, if we were winning, if we were the New England Patriots under Bill Belichick, and we let Ty Law go, and we let this guy go, and that guy go, would we be sitting here complaining? No, because we'd be winning. So enough with the crybaby bullcrap. Shut up. Root for the guy in Texas. If you don't like the Browns, go away. Go away. Go root for somebody else. If that's how you really feel about it. I'm so tired of these people. And that has me going nuclear, Madison.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite disappointing that they couldn't keep him. I think for me, what is to your point, we don't know what happened and what he was offered and all of that. But like, to me, it's like, we didn't keep the good guy, and then we got some people in the locker room that aren't so good that get to hang around and make a lot of money.
Yeah,
so
I would get rid of DeTrash Watson immediately if I could. Let's face it, we all know who you're talking about, and that clown needs to get the hell out of the locker room, and I want him off the facility. Take his butt out of Berea, but we can't get rid of him. I've got friends who are like, just cut him. Admit you were a mistake. Do you not understand? If you cut him, you cannot field the team. We have no money. You could be mad at the deal that was made at the time, but if you looked at the stats side by side and I gave you a blank resume like we're talking about the NCAA tournament, you just said, oh, I want this guy. And then you take him, and then it doesn't turn out as well. And that they took a risk. They said, we want to win so badly, we are going to risk it all to get this guy, even though we know there's some stuff there. There's some baggage. There's a risk we're going to lose on this one. And they lost big. They busted. They busted.
Yeah.
But now we're trying to dig out of it, and you can't instantly dig out of it. You can't just cut the guy. What idiots even think that? Do they not pay attention to any news or anybody reporting on this that's talked about the complications with this? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me if I'm an idiot.
No. I mean, no, it's fair. It's fair. I mean, you're in a situation and you did dig your own grave and now you get to lie in it kind of situation.
Yes, exactly. I'm not happy about it, but at the same time, quit making it sound like he is still like the prime Nick Chubb. I'm sure he's good, but if he wanted $10 million from the Browns, now obviously he signed for less, but he's probably like, you know what? You weren't going to give me enough. I'm going to go somewhere else. I will take the minimum.
Get a chance to win, maybe.
And he's got a chance to win,
Yeah.
so good for him. And I like the guys we drafted. I like Judkins, and I like Sampson. We are remaking this team. That's what we have to do. We have to get younger and cheaper.
Yeah.
Not stay old. Cut the emotional crap out of it. I'm so tired of this. Everyone yells about, oh, you got rid of this guy, and then you watch him, and he goes down the street, and he stinks up the joint. Well, what do you want? Oh, you kept this guy too long. Oh, what do you want? You can't win. People are ridiculous.
It's similar to how I feel in Dynasty when I have a running back that I love and he just falls right off the cliff. They hit the wall so hard with running backs. It's like all of a sudden they're just awful.
Exactly. I mean, as Mike said, we ain't cutting a guy with 70 plus million dead cap who can eventually be cut for nothing. Bingo. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then everyone still is talking. I've got friends who go, oh, they didn't bring back Joe Flacco. You clowns. Listen. They changed the entire offense. How was Joe Flacco going to look in that offense?
Yeah.
The last time that we had seen Deshaun Watson on the field prior to last season, he was playing against the Ravens. He was turning it around. They won the game. He looked like he was in a rhythm. And then he goes out with injury. So they say, you know what? We think we're close with this guy. Now, I got to ask, what were they seeing in practice that suggested that he was anywhere near to what they thought he would be? That is one good, fair question. But they're still at that point saying, we have invested all this money in this guy, and we cannot get rid of him. We've got to go all in. We got to try and make this work with this guy. So let's try a different offensive coordinator. The offensive line coach said, I'm going to forget this. I'm getting out. I'm going to coach with my son, and we were screwed. We were screwed. And now we're trying to pick up the pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I don't know. Do other franchises have it like this? I don't follow other franchises, but what about like other teams? I mentioned Bill Belichick. I mean, look, the 49ers got rid of Joe Montana. He won them Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. Are they okay? Madison, if you were to rank this Nick Chubb situation as a player who they let walk away or someone that one of your franchises traded, where would you rank this? Is there another situation that you think is equal or worse than this?
Oh gosh. Right now, the only real one that I can think of in my head is when LeBron left.
Right, but he left. We didn't really have much control. We didn't really have.
Well, it's like kind of. I mean, we didn't cut Nick Chubb, right? His deal is just over, right? Yeah, it's like kind of it's like similar deal, right? Like he was a free agent and he left. But.
Right. Okay. That's fair. I mean,
you're not putting it with LeBron, though. To be clear. because that one was more devastating to me.
And the way that happened was horrible. But and in there, I think people were like, we're not going to blame the Cavs for this. I mean, the way that was handled was by LeBron was a mistake.
Yeah.
For certain. That was what had me most angry is, I mean, I was upset and hurt. I'm like, oh my God, another person leaving Cleveland.
Speaking of going, I mean, how could we not even talk about that on Going Nuclear? So it naturally came up, right? On our big Going Nuclear episode, you got to bring up LeBron leaving the OG time.
Yeah, I mean, that was horrific. I'm sitting there with my 1-year-old son, Jacob, and I'm watching this days after he's born, and I felt sick. Do you ever have that feeling where you're like, you feel like you lose all your color, you feel like pale as a ghost, just ill?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's how I felt when that program came on, and he and that turd Jim Gray are on there talking. Who decided that was the best way to do it? Which idiot advised him on that?
That's like his only real big misstep in his whole career, and that wasn't a solid move. And back.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so wait a second.
Lindor, that's fair.
Lindor, he didn't want to be here either. He wanted big money. And I think that he wasn't going to take a hometown discount a la Jose Ramirez. He wanted big money. So what are you going to do? You know which one? Madison, I'm trying to think. So when the Cavs traded Ron Harper for Danny Ferry, because Wayne Embry was worried about the people he was hanging out with and had questions about Ron Harper, and we got Danny Ferry. Now, Danny Ferry, as I discovered and recalled, did punch Michael Jordan in the face in the Eastern Conference Finals, but he was no Ron Harper.
Yeah.
He was no Ron Harper. That hurt. And in fact, I mean, the Cavs traded Mark Price. We traded him to the Bullets at the time, the Washington Bullets. We used the draft pick to get, I read this and I died laughing, Vitaly Potapenko. Who the hell is that guy? He lasted like 5 seconds in the NBA. What are we doing here? Oh, my God. Oh, here's another one. Mike. Oh, he's coming up. The Kyrie trade. Again, why did we give in to Kyrie?
Yeah, that was weird because I feel like, now, like, they didn't really have exactly all the power as players back then. I mean, they were kind of on the front end of it, I guess, where they started kind of controlling more of their own destiny. I mean, now it's like any superstar gets whatever he wants when he wants to be traded. He goes exactly where he wants to go, which is crazy.
Right. He ended up with a broken Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and who else? We got like one other person in that deal. I can't remember the other person, but I'm pretty sure we got 3 guys out of it.
Was that Crowder or no?
It was Crowder. I know we got Crowder because he wore 99. And then then he went on to suck in Boston. He did, and he had injuries too. But he's been all right. I think the biggest part of that sucked is that if he just had gotten his head out of his rear end, and realized what good of a situation he had here playing with one of the best players of all time and having a chance to win another title, he should have stuck it out. But he had some maturing to do as well.
Yeah. Ego gets in the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So before we move on to the next nuclear topic, which is going to be Darius Garland, let's take a moment here for a word from our sponsors. You are tuned in to Going Nuclear, full-blown coverage of the land, part of the Fanatical Elves Network. And welcome back, everybody, to Going Nuclear, full-blown coverage of the land. Ethan Greenberg here. Alongside of me is Madison Delaney. This is a special all Going Nuclear event, as the events of today and yesterday and, well, every day for me have me going nuclear. My father-in-law thinks I'm a little bit tightly wound, as I was telling you, Madison. I don't understand what he's talking about. I just can't figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's very chill, very calm, very even, level-headed.
Yes, absolutely.
All the time.
I am. Okay, Ante Zizic. I knew I remembered that clown. Oh, God. Oh, it's so bad. I want to cry seeing this. Oh, my Lord, what a horrible trade. And they weren't they ready to trade him for Paul George?
Oh gosh, I don't even know.
I think there was a deal they were working on a deal to get Paul George, if I recall correctly. Now I'm shooting from the hip here, so I apologize. Because I might misrecall some of these things. I've got enough anger, it's clouding my judgment. All right.
Either way, we could have gotten something better than we got, for sure.
Yes. Okay. So the Cavs went out early in the playoffs this season. We're all disappointed. They win 64 games in the regular season, the number 1 seed in the East. They run into the Pacers, and the Pacers, obviously, they not only beat the Cavs, they beat the Bucks, the Cavs, and then the Knicks, and now they're in the finals. They stole game 1. I mean, they are just on a crazy run.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that was the downfall for the Cavs were injuries against the Pacers. You had Mobley step in game 1, spraining his ankle. Hunter was clearly fouled, but of course, oh no, on replay, no foul, and he dislocates a thumb. So he's hurt. And then DG had this sprained toe, as I read, that initially was hurt in a game in Utah.
Yeah.
And then he aggravates it in the series against Miami. He plays game 1 and 2 of Miami, sits out 3 and 4, and then doesn't play in games 1 and 2 against the Pacers. So today, Madison, the news comes out that, in fact, he had surgery on it to repair the injured big toe, and it's going to take, I think, about 5 months or so, approximately, for recovery. I saw one thing that said he should be ready by training camp. I don't know. But he's out for some time. It required surgery. So, Madison, you talked to me about, you had similar foot problems and an injury. So why don't you talk to people about that and how hard it is to be able to go on and keep playing like that?
Yeah. I had probably a similar, I mean, who knows if it's exactly, but I had like the similar like turf toe type sprain deal going on in both of my feet and both of my big toes at the same time, which was a great time. But like the situation is basically that when you're running and you're trying to play and like push off of that foot, if you make one wrong step, there is a radiating pain going like all the way up your like shin, really. And it makes it like impossible to take a layup. Like I stopped trying to take layups when I was still trying to play through the injury. I was like stopped taking layups because if I did, I was probably done for the rest of the day. Like I wouldn't be able to be out there. And my thing that I had to do with our trainer before games to even know if I could play is like I had to jump on one foot for like 10 jumps in a row.
Oh,
and if
my
I did
God.
that, I was allowed to play. If I could not do that, I was forced to sit. And I ended up doing the same thing. I mean, I like halfway through my sophomore year, I said, can't do it anymore. This is like, can't do anything you're used to doing. And that's the frustrating part. And you could see that, I think, with DG during the playoffs where he's like, he wants to like get to the basket, but he doesn't have the same explosiveness and like that type of thing. And it's super frustrating. And I eventually caved and got surgery. And the good news is that I feel so much better now. So it fixed me with that problem. So hopefully does the same for DG.
Right. And I think it will. Now, actually, recently over the weekend, Joe Varden, or was it Varden or Chris Fedor? My brain is leaving me here. So there was somebody on the local radio who was talking, and I think on 92 through the Fan, saying that they think, maybe they, an idea that DG might be a possible trade option or target.
Yep.
How does this complicate things? I don't know. But the point being, as Mike said, so all the people calling him soft, me included, for not playing, were really harsh on him. He shouldn't have played in the playoffs, to be fair. I don't know if it made it any worse. No one has said whether it made it any worse or better or whatever. He clearly was hurting. So I give him credit for going out there. But the fact that people didn't know exactly what was going on, myself included, we only know what they tell us. You have an idea or thought because of your experiences. Yeah. But to everybody else, we have no idea what's going on. And the lack of reporting, whether that's strategic or not. I mean, there's certain rules, like in the NFL, you have to report X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. Everyone just assumed he was being a wuss. Oh, it's your big toe. Boo-hoo. Get out there and play. Blah, 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 blah. Stop. Guys, we've got to stop doing this. The year before, people did it with Jared Allen. People, are we serious? Are we doctors? Do we know what these other people are going through? I know there are some people who maybe are playing for the money, or they're really not in it for the right reasons. There might be some of those people out there. But I don't take guys like Allen and DG and others, I don't see them as being like, well, I think I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah, I agree.
Guys, are you serious? We got to stop this. We got to stop making these judgments and calling people soft and whatever when we don't know. And credit them when they get out there. I know it's frustrating. I think it's frustrating. As a fan, we want our teams to win. And we're like, oh, he's there. It's a toe. Come on. You got to play through this. Stephen A. Smith is on the air calling him out. Well, Stephen A., do you owe him an apology now?
Yeah. I will say, before I had my toe injury, it was around the time Kyrie at Duke had his toe injury and sat out like the whole year, right? And like, I know like everybody was doing the same thing to him. Like, why is he sitting? He's only trying to get to the league, like all this nonsense stuff. And then, I'm like, yeah, maybe he is kind of soft. And then it happens to you. And then you feel what it feels like. And it's just like not a thing.
Right. Okay. Yeah. JA just isn't built for the playoffs when it comes to being more physically. Okay. Well, the physicality, that's a different story. Now, Madison, I want you to tell the story about your dad and the JA comment.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good one. I laughed out loud, honestly.
My parents' dogs, they've got a boy and a girl, Gus and Bailey. And then my dog, Macon, we were at the beach visiting them. And my dad gave Macon and Gus some cheese, and I guess Bailey too. But Macon and Gus decided to go to battle over a piece of cheese because he walked out of the kitchen. And so they're in a fight, like full-fledged, barking, growling, all that stuff, and biting and all the things. And Bailey takes off running, and my dad calls her Jared Allen because of, I think it was Hunter's when he went over and pushed whatever his name is. And then you can see Allen in the background just walking to the bench. Like, you're trying to run away from a fight? Absolutely. Bailey got called Jared Allen in that scenario.
Man, it's like, who knew that calling someone a Jared Allen would be like a new like, not derogatory, but a new way of calling somebody out. That's hilarious. Oh man, you're such a Jared Allen.
Yeah, I mean, hey, unfortunately,
it's crazy. It's just crazy, folks. Look, I understand. I don't know if it's because people are betting on these things nowadays or what the issue is, or they feel like, hey, I'm sitting at a keyboard. I can put out my thoughts to everybody like myself. Or on a podcast, I can put out myself. But no, just not really thinking about it. And I think there's a fine line between being, frustrated and wondering about things and then making comment, really, really nasty and harsh comments.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it's not too dissimilar from like Caitlin Clark too, right? Like she's been out for a couple weeks and people are all up in arms about it because, I mean, she is an event. You go travel. I've went to go travel to see her play, and like people fly in from all over, drive from all over. And, it's like, it's just a quad strain. Get over it. Get out there and play. But like, it's just like, at some point too, you're hampering the team. Like when you're playing, like she wasn't shooting well before. DG was not super effective really. And it's hard to be. And so, you got to consider that too. Like when you want people to go out there and play, are they really helping or hurting the team anyway?
Right. Exactly. Well, look, why don't we go back to, what about Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, that's another good one.
What was he doing out there? He was clearly hurt, yet tough macho guy said, I've got to play and show everybody, and he hurt his chances. Who knows? If he had said, you know what, I am injured, and sat out and gotten surgery, maybe he'd still be here.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's all Anthony Schwartz's fault. We all know that anyway.
True.
How bad of a receiver was that guy? What a bust. You want to talk about things you can talk to Andrew Berry badly about? That guy cannot draft a wide receiver to save his life.
No, he cannot. That has been a real hole for us for a while.
Yes, and then here it is. Mike, bring it. Angel Reese.
Mm-hmm.
I swear. You know what, Madison? We talked about it last week. I've got these buddies. I wouldn't know anything about what is going on with Angel Reese other than the fact that they complain about it and make fun of her, poke comments because it's in their algorithm. I wouldn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
What is wrong with people? What has happened? Is it simply that these people existed before and we didn't know about it because we didn't have social media? Or are these people that are like, they were, what's the deal?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I would say that those people were like the Malice in the Palace, right? They were in the crowds yelling at people.
Yeah.
Just not doing Twitter fingers and tweeting it all out. They were just saying it out there and live in person.
I mean, I've got, without going down, the thing that Mike mentioned earlier, I won't go down that road because that is the king of calling people out or making just rude and gross and derogatory comments. And apparently that's okay now. So I'm not going to go down that road. All right. So one of the other things or something that on a lighter note, I'll switch. I'm going to go around here, move around. So Madison, follow with me. And if you watch any of these shows, you talk to me. All right. So I watch a lot of HGTV and the Food Network because I'm old. Okay. And so what is the deal with the show Chopped? Do you watch Chopped at all?
I don't. Nope.
All right. So part of
for me.
Okay. So to give you the basic premise, since you don't watch it, and maybe for those folks who are listening who don't watch it either, you have 4 chefs. They get these basket of ingredients, of random ass ingredients. Some of them are disgusting. Okay. And you got to make this dish in whatever minutes, and then you judge and they, eliminate a person, whatever. Do the people who have to judge on that show, is that some kind of a punishment from the network? Like, here, you're going to go and have to be on this show with these disgusting ingredients. I feel like that's some kind of a punishment there to make them have to taste that food. It's like, why can't I be the judge on Iron Chef or Beat Bobby Flay where they're always cooking something good? What the hell is this?
It's honestly probably people thinking that they're so high class that whatever ingredients are involved are like, it's an elevated taste that you have to like it. Like, $500 bottle of wine.
Right. They give these people some whack ingredients. And it's like leftover pizza. It's like, it's gross. Okay. Some of this stuff, I'm like, that's just got to be punishment. Then you watch this stuff on HGTV. Do you know who the Property Brothers are?
I do.
All right. How is it that every episode, okay, Mike, they have a similar show in the UK. Oh, I'm sure you do. So every episode they go and they're like supposed to renovate this. They're talking to these people. And the one thing was like, okay, you can choose this house or this house. We'll take this amount of time and this many weeks or this amount of money, this many weeks to do this one and blah, 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 blah. People choose whatever house. Every single time they're doing this, we've run into, I'm sure that there's obviously editing that goes on to make it more dramatic. Always something that they didn't expect to find in this crappy hole old house that they've got a problem now. Oh, the plumbing. Oh, the electric. We're going to have to replace this support beam. Uh-oh, that's going to be a big problem. I don't know how we're going to afford it. It's always a thing. Are you kidding me? I mean, like, really? You don't think about these things before you go into the house. Hey, here's an idea. Why don't you get someone to come in and do an inspection? Why don't you do that before you go and give these grandiose plans and talk about this stuff? I understand there's certain things that are hidden, but when you're talking about some old rundown house that's a crap hole, you got to be kidding me with this.
It's for the drama. Everybody loves the drama.
I hate the drama. Then you've got the people on House Hunters. They drive me nuts. They are going and looking at these places. It's like this couple or whatever, it's a couple and they're like young and they've just gotten married or something and they've got no clue. Well, we want to live close to the center of the city. You're getting ripped off. Get the heck out of here. You're going to pay for like a shoebox to be your house? What is this? So I get angry with that. I'm like, oh, come on. Are you really
It's also
money?
House Hunters is the one, right, where it's like this is like a teacher and like two teachers, we'll just say, like not making it, and it's like our budget's $750,000, right? Like it's just like that's the part where you're like, who's helping you in the background? That doesn't commute. Like that doesn't compute.
No, it's terrible. And again, I'm old, but I look at the ridiculousness of this and I'm like, really? You're seriously going to spend that much on this piece of garbage place? You could get like a mansion out in the suburbs. Really? All right, whatever. Priorities, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's a show that comes on, it's been on a few different seasons, and it's a short thing, like a 6-week thing or whatever, called Ugliest House in America. Mm-hmm. And the person named Retta, and I know she's been on some like network TV shows. She's a comedian. She hosts it, and then they bring in the designer, Allison Victoria, at the end to whichever house is deemed the ugliest house in America. But they go to these houses, and people are asking for a remodel when they bought the house in a certain fashion. They knew exactly what was wrong with the house. They knew exactly what was wrong with the design of it, yet somehow they want to be rewarded for their stupidity. Like, make this make sense, Madison. Why is it that I go, you know what? Let me get this awful house, and it's got all these problems. Nothing works in here. Hey, I've got an idea. Let me call up HGTV and tell them and enter in ugliest house in America so they can remodel it.
It sounds to me like a bunch of people that bought houses when the mortgage rates were really low and now they're stuck and they wanted to flip it because it was COVID and everybody was doing it and it didn't pan out for them.
I mean, the first season of the show was actually kind of a good one. This guy bought his daughter a house. And I don't know how you do this. I really don't. And maybe he thought he could fix it himself. He didn't realize it was like they were running some sort of a business out of the house. And there were cameras in rooms and some nefarious stuff going on. It was disgusting. And he was trying to do something nice for his daughter. I don't know if he didn't. I can't remember if he hadn't seen it. He was trying to do something nice. But these other ones are just crazy. You bought a house shaped like an igloo, and now you're mad because it's not functional and it's weird. Hey, here's an idea. Why don't you look at something else? This is crazy. I saw there were 3 houses last week on the episode. It was like the ugliest house in the Midwest. They were all in Ohio.
No.
One was like in Painesville, and I knew this. But this house was terrible. It was. I forget how she described. Oh, the person who owned this, they designed it. Blah blah blah. It's like made of concrete, and it's all weirdly shaped. I'm sick of people's stupidity getting rewarded.
I guess win some, lose most is probably how that goes because not everyone's going to win that makeover.
Oh my! What's this, Mike? Oh no! The Browns thank Nick Chubb. Oh no! That was a bad move. Too soon? Too soon, Madison?
That is pretty. They had that one ready. That one was queued up. They were ready to go.
Absolutely. Well, that was like on ESPN Cleveland, the producer, Chris Oldak, they call him Pa. They will put together bits like when someone gets released or traded, they will play Avril. They will play a bit of Avril when you're gone. and he said, I've had this one put together for Nick. They knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming. This was evident.
I didn't want to believe it, though. I didn't want to believe it.
I know. Okay, so another thing. What is going on with commercials for medications? Why is it that people are dancing around about taking Pepto-Bismol for their diarrhea or taking or whatever medication? I'm not suddenly going to say, you know what? Now that you've said it, I need to go tell my doctor that I don't need this medication. I need this. I need you to prescribe this medication for an illness I don't have because the commercial sold me on it. Do you need Jardiance? Take once daily, Jardiance. I mean, come on. Which ad wizards came up with this one? Who decided this is a great idea to dance about the drugs they're selling?
And half the time, you can't even really tell what the drug is supposed to do, what it's for. And then you get the whole laundry list of side effects, too.
Yes. Okay. Now, what is this? Huntington Bank. Where's yes, Huntington Bankfield is one of the worst homes in the U.S. Maybe they should ask for a remodel on Ugliest Houses in America. They should have said it could have been like the Baker Mayfield when he was doing the Progressive at Home. And he could have been like, yeah, I'm calling in. I'd like to enter this in Ugliest House in America. And they come to the stadium. And that would be, you know what, Mike? That's a great premise. I like that. You know, the good news is they're going to knock that piece of crap down. And hopefully someday, and we'll get a nice, beautiful dome. And then, yes, the U.S. commercials, they make no sense. I don't know what they're pushing. Which is, I may have asked you this, Madison, but like, which do you use worse? The person who's in the commercial for having diarrhea, or the person who is in the commercial for being incontinent? I mean, who signs up for this?
Yeah, that's a definitely win some, lose most situation right there.
Yeah,
you're making money, I guess. It's hard out there for actors.
I suppose so. I don't want, you know what? I have a friend who I went to knew in middle school. He was in an Orbitz commercial. I saw the commercial. I'm like, I know that. I was like, holy crap. Do you know what his part was in the commercial?
What?
It was an Orbitz commercial, and he's in the background tweezing his nose hairs.
Oh, jeez. Hey. Whatever gets you your 10 seconds of fame, I suppose.
I suppose so. Do you watch the shows like Kitchen Nightmares and Bar Rescue at all, ever?
I do watch Bar Rescue sometimes.
Okay. Does it not piss you off when they try to argue with the experts about why the experts are wrong and they're right? Your business is failing. Someone signed up or volunteered or tried to get this show to come because your business is going down the toilet. Yet somehow you think you need to argue with the people who are trying to help you? Am I missing something here, Madison?
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody's the smartest person in the room, right, is what they want. I mean, there's a lot of egos on Bar Rescue, too, I feel like. It was like, oh, we didn't really need help because I was having a great time wasting all of my own money and drinking my own alcohol. It's like how that tends to go, I feel like.
It is. It's crazy. And then, you know what's even worse? Does it bug you when you come to find out, like they'll do the thing at the end of the show, they change their name back to such and such. You know, they also wouldn't accept all the menu changes. What a waste of time. That kind of pisses me off because, like, what about the other places where they didn't go who might have actually accepted the help?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's for the drama.
What's it? Reality TV?
Reality TV. It's always for the drama, for the plot.
You know what is reality TV that they don't have to script, although some people say it's scripted? Sports.
It could be scripted. It could be scripted. No.
Yeah, I get
you. The
NBA
lottery is definitely scripted.
I'd love to really sit in. I would try to argue with you, but I find it difficult to do that. It just doesn't seem possible. The Cavs would get this or the Knicks or whatever. Arguing with Ramsey when they signed up for yes. And Gordon, and of course, I love those shows because he just the way he rips into people is just beautiful. Gordon Ramsay, gotta love that guy, and Robert Irvine too.
Yeah,
maybe it's something about the British accent ripping into people that's even funnier.
Yeah.
Oh, come on! Shut it down! It's disgusting.
We'll have to go to Mike for a review of the accent.
Yeah, we will. I don't know. I haven't been around my dad enough, but I could do my grandfather. Hey, do you know why I can't be a doctor? I don't have a lot of patience. My grandfather would say, tell me that if my brother was bothering me, my brother's name is Daniel, he'd say, Oh, you tell me if that Daniel boy bothers you and I'll smash his face in. I'm like, oh, that's a little strong, but I like it. I like it. You know, he would not hesitate to tell the rabbi when they were talking too long, come on, rabbi, vamoose, vamoose lady. So I don't know about that. Okay, and they refuse to show the balls when being got. Now, I do know there are allegedly representatives of all the teams in the room as they're drawing the balls. I don't know.
Everybody's in on it.
Okay, that's fair enough. Maybe they said, all right, this time it's going to be you, Dallas, because we know how. Look, you traded away Luka to help LeBron and help the NBA, help LA. We're going to reward you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right, there you go. So moving back to sports, because I think we can all, this is good. Watching sports and officiating has to be some of the most frustrating moments of these events. Why can't we have consistency in officiating? Like, for example, as we're going through the basketball playoffs, you call the game a certain way all season long. Then you get to the playoffs and you say, nah, we're going to let a little more go. We're going to let the bumping and the this and the that go. If you're going to let it go in the playoffs, why not call it that way during the regular season and players learn how to play through it?
Yeah, I mean, even just like in the same game, there's like the last minute gets officiated differently than the, beginning. And like the lane violation stuff, like Indiana has gotten, like they've been the beneficiary of so many different like lane violations.
Game one of the finals. Were you watching when Siakam was at the line? Down, I don't know what they were down by, but at that point, he missed the first. He's shooting the second. It looked like both teams violated the lane. He ultimately gets, they call a lane violation on OKC. He gets a second shot, makes that one, and then Halliburton wins it with wins it at the buzzer.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean like, and they never call that, and everybody runs in all the time. Obviously, we know that they never call it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, and this happens not just at the pro level; it happens at the college level. I listened to the, the athletic director at a school that we both know, as he complained, discussed about the officiating, changing it up in the conference tournament. They officiate one way during the entire season, and then the conference tournament comes, and all of a sudden they're swallowing the whistles and letting everybody get away with murder.
Yeah. It's really frustrating, to watch, especially because you have the benefit of reviews and you can see it and all of that. So like anything that even feels obvious or stuff that doesn't feel obvious that you see, and there are, I guess, only so many eyes out there, but it's just like some stuff that they do miss. Like I'm thinking of like the egregious, there's like a video a while back, but like I think there's one of like Kevin Durant like legitimately running out of bounds with the ball and like not getting called, or like the travels where they
like there's that one of
hold the ball and take like 20 steps and then they put it down.
Yeah, like LeBron walking up the ball in the backcourt, and he's just walking along with it, and they never got the travel call.
Yeah, that stuff is so frustrating. Or like, I mean, the moving screens on Golden State when we were playing them 4 years in a row. It's just like that stuff is like gets under your skin, and then when they call it on you and they haven't called it on them the whole time is like
exactly. Madison, what do you think? Mike asked, do you think this contributes to more injuries during the playoffs? I don't know. That's a good question. What do you think?
I mean, it certainly contributed to more of our injuries.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
With Evan and Hunter for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you got it. Look, if you're going to let it go, you need to let it go all season long. This is not, I understand. So if basically they're saying we don't call it during the regular season, or we do call it during the regular season, I'm trying to think. We don't want it to be overly physical because we want the game to run smoothly. It's an entertainment business, blah, blah, blah. And then they get to the playoffs and they're going to make it like really like let them foul and be all herky jerky and this, that, and the other. I don't know. How can you even plan for that? And along those lines, I yelled about this a lot. Are we still letting umpires call balls and strikes when we've got technology to do that for us?
I mean, I'm sure you, as a soccer fan, it's like careful what you wish for with the VAR and then that strike zone being digital. Because like when it's close, I'm like sometimes I want the call.
Well, right.
You're not going to get it then.
Sometimes you benefit from it, but at the same time, you need consistency. And
Yeah.
when an umpire decides at the beginning of the game, they're going to not call this for one team, but call it for the other team, and then they're all over the place. The 95 World Series was screwed for the Indians because of that damn umpire.
Yeah.
Or umpires, because the whole crew, and like, this is ridiculous. We don't need to help Greg Maddux.
Yeah.
That's the last thing he needs. Are you kidding me? I'm so sick of that. And I've listened to the Guardians. We had it happen in New York. Should have been a strikeout, I think, on Jazz Chisholm. They don't call it. Then he goes and hits a home run.
Yeah, that always seems
yesterday afternoon. Bibby's out there, and they don't call a third strike on what should have been a third strike, and all of a sudden, here we go, and the cheat throws tie it up. I mean, what the hell is going on out here? Can we just call things consistently and not screw it up?
I mean, we're only like 5 years away from AI being our officials for everything.
I mean, I don't know. As my son said, he prefers the index card for measuring for a first down. He prefers a Gene Steratore.
There you go.
I was why? Well, okay.
Oh, the one that we had when was that? Was that this past season where maybe it was 2 seasons ago where we had a first down and like it was by the chain, it was past the chain and they said no. Which season was that?
I think that was years ago. Did we still have Duke Johnson on the team or something? Does that sound right?
Oh gosh, was it really that long ago? God.
I vaguely look. I remember when it happened. It was so bad. The Yankees. I hate the Yankees. Really do. Really do.
Easy to hate.
They are easy to hate. That is for certain. Why is it that another thing that bothers me, and Madison, look, it's amazing. It's so nice how women's basketball has progressed in college that they're like, hey, you know what? Let's play quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Why is men's basketball not playing quarters? Why are they still playing halves?
I mean, back when I was coaching, I got a little bit of an inside track on this, and I thought that they were close. I thought they were close to going to quarters because they vote differently. Like the women and the men all vote, and it's all the college coaches get to vote on rule changes. So the issue is that they haven't garnered enough votes to pass going to quarters. And like why that is makes no sense to me because in my head, you always want to prepare for the next level. And they are, to your point, the only one that plays halves still at any level of basketball.
Yes. High school, both boys and girls, quarters. Women's college, quarters. Professionals, quarters. But no, the men in college basketball are still playing halves. I mean, really? Are you serious? And what the hell is the deal in college and high school with the possession arrow? Do you have any insight on why we're not doing a jump ball?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they haven't. The other thing that they should do for men's basketball, especially college basketball, since it's kind of a dying breed on the men's side because there's not as many big names, is like they have the advance the ball rule. Like they don't do that in college, and they should because you get better endings to games. Like you get, it's maybe you could still score. If you do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do that stuff.
The women have made that progress. Yeah. Why not the men? What is going on with these archaic turds, these old staunchy white people or whatever, old staunchy men, I should say, that are making these rules and they can't do it? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that was the Duke Johnson fumble against what I think maybe that's what I'm thinking. Like he literally came out, he's holding the ball. And oh my God. Oh my God. This is terrible. It's absolutely crazy. All right. College football. Really? Really? What is targeting?
No one knows.
And you're going to disqualify the person. It's a bang, bang play. It's a 15-yard infraction. It is a warning. It is, quit tossing people out of the game for crying out loud. targeting. Unless what are we talking about? Was it, oh my gosh, was Turkey Jones, the guy who suplexed Terry Bradshaw, right? It doesn't even, that's egregious. That's egregious.
I know they always say you like can't judge intent, but like you can. And I think they should start using that as a basis for the rule. I think you can definitely tell intent like most of the time. And if it's clear that there was intent, then sure, you can eject them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And wow, did the Guardians just pull off an amazing double play? I'm sorry, I just got distracted by it.
It's okay.
But yes, the Oakland game. Mike, good memory. I'm pretty sure that's the one with the terrible measurement that I am. It was egregious. It was atrocious. Now, how why do you think people don't trust anybody and think it's all rigged? Because of terrible calls like that. I just don't understand it. Why is pass interference in college and in high school a 15-yard penalty? Why not a spot foul? You reward bad defense.
Yeah, that's
learn how to look for the ball and not run into a guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good point.
Again, why are you not preparing them for the next level? Isn't that the whole idea? You go to one grade level, they prepare you for the next. You go to high school to prepare for college. You go to college, whatever, you prepare for life and whatever your profession you're going to go in. Yet somehow these jokers don't learn how to play. What in the world? Oh my goodness. Okay, are we still here? All right. That was the craziest thing I've ever heard, and now
it's the NBA calling about the rigged lottery.
I think somebody's
didn't like our commentary.
Apparently, somebody is listening. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. I don't even know what's going on, but that was. If anyone heard that, I'm gonna have to follow back on the replay here. Now I'm a little bit scared. Okay, someone's watching me. This is no good. No, I mean, you're trying to prepare these people for the next level, yet somehow you're not doing it. I just don't get it. And now I know what happened. Okay, I think I just figured it out.
It's not a ghost.
Thank goodness it's not a ghost. It's my random old headphone cord hitting a soundboard button, and I feel better. I was a little worried there. That might be a moment of the game. I think that'll be the best moment of the entire show because clearly, scaring the bejeebus out of me is the best thing to do. And then Mike points out, why is it in college 1 foot in is good enough, but in the NFL it's both?
Yeah.
How about we make it both in college? Again, train these people to be good at the next level. Why are the hash marks so far apart? Why are they different at high school, college, and the pros? Why not make them all like they are in the pros? Can anybody tell me what the advantage or disadvantage is of doing that? I just don't get it.
Honestly, this whole thing is starting to remind me of the George Washington SNL skit. Did you see
I don't
that?
remember this one. Tell me about it.
It's the comedian whose name is going to escape me right now, but it's talking about like the metric system and like why we're doing things differently. And it's like he has one where he talks about football and they're like, oh, a game where you kick it with your foot. And he said, no, well, sometimes.
It's
like,
true.
It's like illogical stuff that you're like, this doesn't make any sense. If you have not seen that skit, you do need to watch it because it's hilarious.
I might have seen it at some point, but I don't. And that sounds vaguely familiar. Well, it's kind of like, on Family Guy when they say, I don't see how this could be misinterpreted. The right to bear arms. And Peter walks out with holding two literal arms of a bear. Yeah, right to bear arms. It's just. And did you know, I think I looked this up because a discussion came up recently. I think there's only 3 countries, including the United States, that aren't using the metric system.
Yeah.
Really? We have to be special.
We do.
No meters, kilometers. Sense. We got to do inches.
And centimeters. And it's like, when do they line up? They don't.
Yeah. Oh, wow. How about that? And then, like, our toolkits have to come with, like, you get a socket wrench set, and they got to have the stuff in inches and the stuff in millimeters. You're like, oh, come on. Really? I think this is a joke. Someone's laughing in the background. Ha ha ha! Got them getting extra socket attachments here. Ha ha!
Yeah, it's all a ploy to make more money off of you.
It
You gotta
is.
buy more
It
things.
is. It is. And you know what, Madison? I think I feel better. I had a lot to get off my chest. There were a
There was
lot
a
of
lot
things
to
that
go through.
it was. Madison, do you have anything else that you haven't shared that has you going nuclear? Because I've shared quite a lot.
This may be slightly controversial, not really, but have you followed the Karen Reed trial at all?
I have not. Tell me about it. What's up?
Well, so it's the woman who's accused of running over her Boston police officer boyfriend and killing him. He was like found on the lawn. But there's like a whole other conspiracy where the people in the house did it, and and they, didn't look in the house at all. Like, no, the investigators basically ran like a very questionable, like they picked up blood in Solo cups. Like that was their evidence collection, legitimately. And so it's like all of these things where there's like pretty clear, reasonable doubt. But anyways, like in the case today, the prosecutor held up his sweatshirt to a witness on the stand and the jury, and it had like cuts on the back of the sweatshirt. And he said, they're trying to say like, okay, if he was hit by the car, it could be road rash or whatever. It turns out that the cuts were made by a medical examiner who was like, or a criminologist or whatever I don't know exactly the term of the role, but like clearly intentionally misrepresented evidence to the jury. And so like they moved to mistrial, and she basically was like, I'll just make a note about it and we'll just tell him to ignore it. But it was like that was like the prosecutor got up there and was like, yeah, that was my bad. I made a mistake. But it wasn't a mistake because you definitely did it intentionally.
Well, sure. Right. And Madison, that's a great point about some of the issues with the legal system and juries. Working in the legal field and, seeing a jury trial and, things that go on, you're supposed to give jury instructions, right? Mm-hmm. And it gets complicated. And they're like, well, you're supposed to take only X, Y, and Z into consideration. These are the laws. And that personal, beliefs or emotions get involved in these things. Mm-hmm. And they overlook the evidence as it is. And it's a bit of a flaw in the system. I mean, if OJ can get off, if the glove does not fit, you must acquit. I don't know that there's any justice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying she's 100% not guilty. I'm saying that we don't have any way to know because they didn't do a very good investigation, and we can talk more about this. We don't have to do it on the podcast, but it was like, it's just like, there's so many things that they're just like getting away with on the prosecution side that it's like, okay, but like, 'cause you can never unknow. Like, I know they're like, forget you ever heard it, strike it from the record. But it's like, but I heard it with my own ears and I saw like all the people's reactions. So like it's in there. I'm not going to like not consider it. But,
exactly. Because even if they said someone you're talking about it, well, hey, remember this? No. We didn't hear that. Remember? Yeah. We didn't hear that. Oh my God. Oh yeah, my.
It's very interesting. It's what I listen to in the background of my work days.
Oh, I listen to sports talk, and as you can see, that does me a lot of good.
Yeah.
That does me a lot of good. All right, Madison. I think I've said more than enough here. I have spewed for an hour. I've let it be known. And I'm going to have to work on being angry and having things to upset me. But if I go to my Twitter feed, I'm sure that'll happen.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
In a matter of minutes. Either that or I could watch the Guardians. That's always guaranteed to have me going nuclear because that is a frustration in and of itself. Thank goodness they finally sent John Kenzie down. He was the Christmas gift that did not keep on giving. It was very bad. I think Hanukkah Harry came to visit him and needed to give him some socks. And if you haven't seen that Saturday Night Live skit, you should check that out. An oldie but a goodie. All right, Madison. And first of all, I want to thank everybody who tuned in. Again, you can check out the podcast, subscribe on the YouTube channel for Going nuCLEar. Check us out on the on Twitter or X or whatever you call it. You can look us up where you get all of your fine podcasts. Whether you listen on Spotify or Apple or whatever, we're even on the Odyssey app. Go on there. You can pull us up and listen to the audio of it. You don't have to see me. You don't have to look at my mug. I mean, I know that's kind of scary. Apparently, I scare basketball. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for everybody who tuned in, commented, and enjoyed this. Oh, no. Oh, boy. I can't wait to see this stuff. This will be delightful. Okay. Oh, and Stanley Cup finals game 3. And want to thank, I don't know if she's still watching. I'm sure she's ready for face-off, but Sherry, commented early, our buddy from the Fanatical Elves Network, Sherry, my good friend in Cleveland, who is a Panthers fan. Good luck to her tonight against the Oilers. Madison, thank you so much for being here once again. Thank you for listening to all my ranting and raving, and thank you for contributing with what has you going nuCLEar for all those weekend warriors and adult rec league sports participants.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, folks. So for Madison Delaney, I'm Ethan Greenberg. You've been tuned in to Going nuCLEar, full-blown coverage of the land here on the Fanatical Elves Network, a part of Fans First Sports